You ready? All right. As I stand here looking at everyone who came to Dad's retirement for 45 years, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement, pride, and admiration. Dad was not just a mentor to me, but to so many others too, as well as a hero to many lives who live in this community. Growing up with him as a firefighter showed me and my siblings what dedication, sacrifice, and leadership looks like, not only in the firehouse, but at home too. This job wasn't just a job to him, it was a part of who he was. To show the commitment and sacrifice he made some, I have some numbers I'd like to share. As part-time, he worked 10 years, or 24,840 hours. Full-time, he worked for 35 years. That's 96,600 hours. In 45 years, he worked 2,996 holiday hours. He worked 30,040 weekends as well. Yes, he stopped working holidays and weekends about 17 years ago, but he was still on call. That adds up. His on-call time is 47,736 hours. This is a grand total of 202,212 hours he spent away from his family, friends, to serve this community. I remember we would have dinner, whether it was Thanksgiving dinner or any other holiday, and he was on call. He would stop whatever he was doing and respond to a structure fire. But when he came home, even if he was exhausted or had a long day, he would always make sure there was time for his family. He always kept work as work and home life as home life. Even with all the things he saw on the job, he made sure that we were not affected by them. A large part of this commitment of keeping work and home separate is his faith. For him, it's not just church on Sundays. His faith defined him as a man. He made sure to follow in the footsteps of Christ and to teach his children to do the same. He is a big influence in my faith and relationship with Christ. As a firefighter myself, I look back on the fire-related things he taught us. He would have my siblings and I do fire drills at home at a young age. We would practice crawling out of the smoke-filled house, open our bedroom windows, meeting at our neighbor's yard, etc. When I started having interest in the fire service, he would sit down with me into the late hours of the night, going over various topics, from how a fire engine pump worked to EMS assessments and skills. He showed me what it means to be a good man and a firefighter. When he would walk into a room, he wasn't just a fire chief. He was a friend, mentor, and support for all men and women who serve in this department. But this job wasn't everything to him. He would tell us stories of how he went over to Korea to bring me and my little brother home. That journey was made by himself alone. Originally, the adoption agency was going to ship me and my brother to another city, and my parents would pick us up there. Instead, he said that he wanted to walk on the same grounds as his two sons were born in, and that's what he did. He flew halfway across the world to a small country where he didn't know anyone, he didn't know the language, and had little to no previous knowledge or experience with, and brought us home. Years later, he took my siblings and I back to Korea so we could see for ourselves our heritage and where we came from. Everywhere I go, I see people see my last name and ask me if I'm related to Chief Souders. And every time, without fail, those people tell me how great of a man he is and how lucky I am to have him as a father. His legacy in and out of this department isn't just about the hours he worked, but the impact he made on so many lives. The lessons that he taught me over the years is too many to count. He taught me how engines work and how to work with my hands. He taught me how to live life with a purpose and to treat others with respect and honor. Watching Dad retire is bittersweet. I know how much this job means to him, and I know it's not easy to step away from. The fire service has been a part of his life since 1980 when he was 16, working as a volunteer firefighter. But as much as this chapter of his life is closing, I know that the impact influence will never go away. His impact is not just felt here in this department, but in the lives of his children and his grandchildren as well. Dad, Ben, Allie, Tim, Lydia, Franklin, Jack, Alex, Sid, Grayson, and Mom and I love you with all of our hearts. We're excited to spend more time with you and for you to babysit more often. Thank you for everything you've done, taught, and instilled in us. I'm proud to be your son, and I'm proud to follow in your footsteps, even though they are big shoes to fill. Enjoy Unit 4. Thank you for your service.